Welcome to the fifth soul pathway, which is called Soul Cleanse Pathway. This is fantastic for like really getting deep into the layers of the soul, the auric field, to clean out anything that's kind of sitting in there. It's like, you know, a spring clean, because we're going to be identifying certain areas that things sit in the energy field. Let's go through a couple of them for you. We're going to talk about reversal networks. Now, they are the anti-life programs that are embedded in the matrix, or embedded in our auric fields, they're embedded in the grid of the earth. These are called reversal networks or systems, reverse everything. Instead of progression, it's like blocking. Instead of, you know, going toward humanity, it goes the other way. And you see this in politics. They might be talking about, you know, cleaning up something, but in fact they're causing more harm than good. They've sort of got these, there's this, people talk about what they say they're doing when in fact they're doing the opposite. And politics is a good place to start when you look at what they, you know, what they say is completely opposite. And it's kind of like this is from the reversal programs and networks that are set up in, you know, the matrix and our grids and so forth. So that's what that means. They're just anti-life, opposed to life. Then we're going to be looking at damaged etheric webs. Our etheric web is the outer layer of our auric field, and that's the layer that protects us, because that's the furthest out layer that stops things from getting in. Now that can be damaged, so it opens up rips, holes, tears, openings for things to come in. It weakens our spiritual strength. It'll weaken our body physically, because it's always a match. Whatever your spiritual side is will reflect in the physical. So having a good, strong, clear etheric web is what you need to, you know, move forward and be free of being targeted or having negative things in you. So we're correcting the damaged etheric web. Some of the things we've already talked about through this, through the other healing pathways. So I talk about also the actor signal. That is a signal generated by source itself, or the primordium or primordial source energy. That's a vibration that is, you know, source vibration. So that's the actor signal. So it's complete pure healing. All right. So everything else we've pretty much covered, and we're going to include aura cleanse. This aura cleanse you've learnt back in your the previous modules, and that will be in 4.17, which will be emotions. 4.17, the aura cleanse. That's going to be the cleaning out the 3 layers in the auric field. We're going to do that in this healing pathway. Okay, so let's start. Hello.
Hello.
So we have the intention. She set up her intentions before she came. So we're going to be addressing whatever she's set up that would be sitting on her form. And I'll tell her what this is about. Vicky, this is about the soul cleanse pathway, creates a deep spiritual soul facet and DNA cleanse from embedded psychic attacks, negative entities, reversal networks and systems, unseen influences, destructive forces and harmful energies on all levels, dimensions and lifetimes. Rewrites the soul's blueprint by removing the past or past life negative spiritual conditioning and attacks. Because again, as I'm saying to you, your soul's a blueprint, and the blueprint, when it's corrupted, it just continues. Mm-hmm. It's like that is the plan that we're working from. So this is how deep we're going. We are adjusting the blueprint. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Yeah, like the foundation we've been sitting on has been corrupt, unbalanced, wrong, interfered with, manipulated. So I go to the soul scan list, and we have a choice. This is all still new to me. This is the first time I've actually gone through every single one. We've got 37, so I'm brand new again at teaching this, just as I was in those previous videos. So 37, so 1 to 5 to 10 to 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. So we go to 32, sounds familiar. Mutation, curse, implant. That, I don't know if that came out before, mutation, curse, implant.
Alien mutation.
What's that?
It was, I think, alien mutation. Very similar.
So let's have a look. Let's see, I'll just read it. I might remember if that came up in the previous one. Yes, because this is it. A mutation curse creates a process so souls continue to reincarnate on the earth plane. Mm-hmm. The process was introduced when interbreeding with the Anunnaki began. The mismutation curses passed down the genetic and DNA line. So it's telling me, if it's come up again, it's telling me that this is a curse that's been on you for a long time. So the neural pathways, it's almost like saying, I've got to knock out a big bolster of the foundation you've been sitting on, as opposed to just something minor. It's something big that your soul's been sitting on. So I've got to remember the name, and it's called, if I don't remember the name, we'll get to it, then I'll go, what was it again? I've just got 2 books here so I can go and refer to the name. Until I get more familiar and more comfortable, then I shall still be referring to things. All right, let's do this. Accessing all levels of advanced consciousness, advanced dimensions, the guardians and the enlightened beings. I, Marisa, request the removal and cancellation of the soul and mutation curse implants for the release and cleansing of Vicky's soul and DNA and reconnection to the organic source matrix. Okay, confirm all booby traps, negative alien agenda firewalls and sabotages are removed for the soul cleanse pathway. Confirm access to the words of power. I, Marisa, request the entire cleanse of Vicky's spiritual soul and DNA on all levels in all lifetimes, with the removal and cancellation and dissolving of attaching spirits and damaged etheric webs, miasmas and soul fragments from living and discarnate forms, negative thought forms, curses and spells, toxic radiation, negative entities and energies, cabal influence, control, imprints and implants, reversal networks and systems. I confirm Vicky's spiritual soul and DNA has cancelled and disabled all signals of the demonian energy of the force of death and destruction accumulated in Vicky's soul and DNA, removed all soul and DNA imprints of pain and suffering, and recoded the soul and DNA imprints to allow blessings, healing, freedom and abundance. Access the actor signal from source. Access the words of power. Access and cleanse soul facets and spiritual DNA codings. Okay, so now I do the aura cleanse. Again, that's from the emotions module. So what you'll need, if you have some oil or a spray it on your hand. You don't have to do it this way, but do you remember the aura cleanse? It was like we're going to be cleaning the body, the auric field, just fairly close to her body. We're smoothing it out, like nice and soft, because we're in her energy field, and then we come up a little higher, cleaning this out, smoothing. It's like a wash, nice soft wash, cleaning and removing out anything that might be sitting there, and repairing and healing all these layers. And we run through and out it goes. Okay, so now we've done the aura cleanse. We now do the last bit where the client says these statements. Again, I was supposed to find the ID age, but this is forensic healing. It doesn't matter. You just wing it, you know. So I'm going to find the age now because she's going to have to find and release her stress somewhere. And she's 44, so I go 44 to 40 to 30, 35, 30, 29, 28, 27. So if I go to age 27, so that's 27 back. I don't know if you remember that age.
Yes.
But you do, great. So there'll be a stress held back there. What do you recall?
A lot of physical abuse.
Really?
A lot of fear, yeah.
Really, with your...
With the next boyfriend that, yeah.
Wow.
It was the guy I actually married for 2 weeks. And...
Really?
Yeah.
You married him for 2 weeks?
Got married, but and then after that it was just...
Went bad?
Yeah. Well, I didn't expose him to mum or family because we had the big wedding.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were stuck in it?
Stuck in it until I confronted him. And then got, you know, the family involved, mum and dad. And he ended up being like just a gangster.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how you've attracted these kind of... Do you know why you've done that? Obviously there's a program inside you. You know? There's some sort of programming that it just is... And that's what... This is what this process does. Gets you to analyse and go, what is it that made me choose him? Where did... And you pick your part of life and you apart and you look at, you know, what was it in childhood? What is this? Have you ever analysed it?
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah.
And? No. That's good that you have.
Yeah.
Like some people don't really,
No, of course
you know,
I have.
but that's great.
So,
but have you come to any conclusions about it?
Yeah, I choose. Yeah. Well, firstly, the first thing I realise is they choose me.
Yeah.
Secondly, I allowed that behaviour, obviously, because of what I saw in my dad. Just allowed a lot of...
I guess you know what I think it might be. I reckon it's probably been the martyr crucifixion implants because that your mum's like that, and I think that could be embedded in you quite profoundly, and that will attract something that's hard and, you know, punishment and cruelty.
Yes, it's been 4 or 5 long-term relationships, like I said, up until my son. So it's the first 5 years I've been single, finding myself almost fearing men.
Right. Almost what?
Almost fearing them.
Fearing men.
Yeah, or not trusted by judgment.
Right. So now, but then that's where you've got to change. We'll get you changing so you can trust your judgment. So when you talk to someone, you just know. And that's this process because definitely they've all been wrong, right? And so you look at all the traits, you look at what they do because you become an expert in knowing which ones not to choose. So you pick all the bad guys, the real bad guys. And you should have a little checklist because they all have commonalities.
Very much, yeah.
And so you really should be an expert. And then you can say, well, here it is on a physical way. You know, here are my tics and here is my intuition. I usually do little checklists and I will go, okay, so I'll ask questions and ask them about things and then I'll watch how they answer. Or I watch their relationships. It's actually not too hard once you really start to go you have to kind of really be connected to be able to be that connected to see it. You only see something as much as you see in yourself. It's sort of, you know, how much you're able to overcome. But if you've got a crucifixion implant in you, then it's like really hard to undo. I bet you've tried to undo it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But this is great. Okay, so we've got, now I'll go back, let's get back to it. We were talking about age 27, was it?
27.
All right, and that guy, and see that would be, he'd put all stuff in your energy field. And if he's that vicious, it's like a dark energy.
Almost just stalked me for
Did he?
a year after.
Did he?
He had to leave the country. He was just involved in really dark stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you definitely need a good soul cleanup. I, Vicky,
I, Vicky,
confirm all destructive forces,
confirm all destructive forces,
negative karmic seeds,
negative karmic seeds,
and this is what we had that word again. We had, was it a mutation curse implant?
and
Mutation curse implant
mutation curse implant
have been removed,
have been removed,
cancelled, relating to the age of 27.
relating to the age of 27.
I confirm my new cleansed
I confirm my new cleansed
spiritual soul structure
spiritual soul structure
is activated
activated
and fully functioning.
and fully functioning.
I choose to be sovereign,
I choose to be sovereign,
free,
free,
and live in oneness
and live in oneness
with humanity
with humanity
from this point
from
forward.
this point forward.
Take a nice deep breath in. Oh, how did you feel?
Feel it's still just integrating. Yeah, the word free just comes, emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just rejigging the whole blueprint. Well, that was great. That was really good to remove that incident because we are an accumulation of our past. So where, you look at your past and you go, well, how much bad stuff, what does it look like on the scales? Is it like yours would look like, really out of whack? And you're beginning to balance them out. So until we get to even, but then, well, I guess it's like freedom is when it's no longer tipped and, it's like it matches. We're able to manifest all good things. All right. Well, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you.